morning. Welcome to our devotion again about unsung heroes. Today, my cup of the day is University of Mobile Dad. My son Philip and my son Nathan attended there. Philip graduated from there, and I got that mug back then. So it reminds me to pray for that good Baptist college over there in Alabama. Well, we're continuing with these unsung heroes of the Bible. You know, some people get whole chapters, multiple chapters written about them, and some only get a little blurb. And we're looking at these unsung heroes, and a lot of them only get a little blurb, but they had important input into God's work. And it tells us that no matter who you are, you can have an impact on God's kingdom. Well, today we're looking at a guy by the name of Melchizedek. He got a short little blurb about him in Genesis. What happened was Abraham's nephew Lot had been taken captive, and Abraham and his men are chasing after them all the way up to the northern part of Israel, to Dan, and Abraham had the victory and rescued his nephew. And on his way back is where we find this encounter with a guy named Melchizedek. So it's a sudden appearance here in Genesis 14:18 through 20. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine. Now he was a priest of the Most High God, and blessed him and said, Blessed be Abram of God Most High, possessor of heaven and earth, and blessed be God Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand. And he gave him, Abram that is, gave him a tenth of all that he had taken in from his enemies, a tithe, in other words. So this is the first time we see this character, Melchizedek. It's not the last time we'll hear about him in the Bible, but the only time that we're told anything about him. And we don't learn much at that. So who was Melchizedek? His name means king of righteousness. And he's also called the king of Salem, which is the king of peace, righteousness and peace. An even stranger thing is that he was called a priest of the Most High God, and this is long before there was the law in the Levitical line of priests and that we know of in Israel. So this is very strange that he was a priest and a king and to the Most High God. So what does that say about him? Well, sometimes in the Old Testament you have things that are a foreshadowing of what's coming in the New Testament. And this is one of those. And Melchizedek's name comes up again as the Bible goes along. About 1,000 years later in Psalm 110:4, David says, the Lord has sworn and will not change his mind. You are a priest forever according to the order of Melchizedek. This is a messianic psalm. It's talking about Messiah when he comes. And he's saying that the Messiah will be a priest after this order of Melchizedek, greater than the law, in other words. Hebrews 7 echoes that. It tells us that Jesus is a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. So what does this Melchizedek guy tell us, this unsung hero of the Bible? Well, he was both a king and a priest, and we're told that Jesus is both king and priest. He's the king of righteousness. He's the king of peace. You know, we talk about Jesus being the prince of peace. Like Melchizedek, Jesus also offered wine and bread in the Lord's Supper. An interesting connection between the two. Well, what can we learn about this as we try to live our lives? What do we learn from this unsung hero? Well, God's plan is bigger than we realize. Melchizedek was a priest to the Most High God, and there wasn't even a law, and there wasn't even a priesthood yet as the Jewish people knew it. God was at work in Israel. God was at work with people other than Abraham. Jesus is our true priest king. And we understand that earthly kings or priests are different. But this priest, Melchizedek, was a priest of righteousness, a priest of peace, and these themes that come back to us through Jesus. It also shows us in this story of Melchizedek that worship matters. Abraham had a great victory. He didn't count it as being his own. And in honor of God who gave him the victory, he stops and takes a time of worship with Melchizedek. And it's important for us to stop and have times of worship in our life as well. But Melchizedek is a mystery with a purpose. You know, sometimes in our lives, it's a mystery what God is doing with me or you as well. But one thing that's for sure, there's always a purpose in what God is doing in our lives. So Melchizedek, a mystery with a purpose, a mystery that gives us an illustration of our own lives. I want to just end with how much of a mystery this Melchizedek was. Hebrews 7:3 says this: without father, without mother, without genealogy, having neither beginning of days nor end of life, but made like the Son of God, he remains a priest perpetually. Wow. What is that talking about? We don't know anything about that, about what that really truly means. Now, some people say that maybe that is an indication that Melchizedek was a pre-incarnate appearance of Jesus himself, that Abraham gave his tithe to and worshiped with. Whether that's true or not, there's one thing we do know about Melchizedek is that he points us straight to Jesus. And that's something that we need to do in all of our lives, is point people straight to Jesus, as we can also be unsung heroes for the Lord. Well, thank you for listening in, and I hope you enjoy this. If you do, please like and click that subscribe on this YouTube channel. It won't cost you a thing. There's no charge for it. Just subscribe so you get notices about future devotions that are coming. God bless you. You can also find out more about what I'm doing, books and articles and things that might be helpful to you by going on the internet to timsearcyministries.com. God bless you. Have a good day.